Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video, I wanted to chat a little bit about Christmas plans and how we can help our children with special needs adapt and change if they need to, or how we can adapt and change to facilitate them. Now, you'll have to excuse the lighting. It is a very dreary day all day. It's been very foggy, so the lighting, I've got my big massive light and I've got other lights on. It doesn't matter. I look like I'm like, ooh, but it is what it is. So I only have so much time in these moments. When I do have it, I'm like, okay, I better hit it, even if the lighting's not the best, or my furnace is going, or my son is just having a crazy fun day. Yeah, we just got off of swimming lessons and being out for 3 weeks, like 2 times a week. And so I'm like, okay, now it's time to get everything back to normal. But it does mean that sometimes you have like spooky lighting, and yeah, I've tried all the settings, it doesn't matter. So So thank you for being patient with me and understanding. So as I've said many times on this channel, autism is a spectrum. That's what I deal with, but I only deal with my son and his needs. There may be autistic children out there who love Christmas, who want to be in all the activities and get in all the family visits and all of that. There may be plenty there may be plenty who are like that. My son is not, so that is what I'm speaking to. You can completely ignore this if you want. I am not one of those people who's like subscribe and whatever. If you want to, have at her. But the point of this channel is not for me to make money. The point of this channel is to encourage. So if you are in a situation where your little one struggles with big family get-togethers, they struggle with Christmas and holidays and all of the rest, then this video is for you. So when my son was younger, there was something that we noticed where, like, opening presents, even for his birthday, wasn't a big thing. He essentially, if I'd given him a bag, like a grocery shopping bag, and was like, here's your present, he would be thrilled. Now, I didn't choose to do that just because that was the way I needed to give him, like, push him enough that he could behave in a way that was typical when family would bring a present or Christmas or whatever. Like, I needed him to be able to understand what was going on. And so the expectations, especially one of the first Christmases where, like, my younger girls were like super pumped and excited, and we're looking at him and he's like, like Christmas morning, he opened maybe one gift. The girls had opened theirs already, and I was like, no worries, bud, whenever you're ready, we can open another one. Or if I knew he was looking forward to like one specific present, usually Orby ball or something, I would say, try this one, because I knew that the uncomfortability of opening that gift may be undermined a little bit by the thing that he absolutely wanted. Now, as time has gone on, he's 16 years old now, he has no issues. He's still not jumping up and down the way the girls are, but he also doesn't have those issues. He knows what the routine is, and he's okay with it. So he will now open all of his gifts at the same time. The other thing that usually families like to do is they're like, okay, well, you give the gifts out. Darian never, like, doesn't care, doesn't even, like, if you hand him a gift, he's going to be like, oh, this is mine, thank you, and off he goes. So it's one of those things where I just wanted to speak to stuff that happens and changes over time. And you might think that it's not really a big deal, and it's not. It absolutely is not, but it does affect how they behave in another setting. So another thing, we did Christmas at a grandparent's house, and we were sold essentially that this is what it's going to look like. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to have this, I'm going to have the rooms cleared, the beds are going to be made, I'm making dinner. Like we had this idea of what it was going to be based on what that person told us. And for a number of different reasons, including that it was -40, so all of the outdoor activities were canceled, yeah, it was not good. It was not good. And Darian is one of those kids who struggles. He still, to this day, it's something that has not changed, struggles with not being home for his bed time. He's like, I'm okay. One day we go there and we come back. Now, again, my girls are like, well, I want to have a sleepover with my cousin. I want to do this, that, or the other thing. And because we live a certain distance apart, it doesn't happen on the regular. And so we're balancing, and I'm sure all of you out there in YouTube land know this, but we're balancing the needs of our typically developing children, if you have them, with their special needs. And so there's been many a conversation with family, if they live too far. I'm sorry, I can't do that to my Darian. The only thing he's willing to do right now is one night, and that's it. So that means I'm not going to Washington State, which is 12 hours away, because we're gonna have to turn around and come home. You know, like it's just outside of our ability to go there and come back. Now, the rest of our family lives about 4 hours away, 3-4 hours away. So that 3 hours we could probably do. 4 is pushing it a little bit, but it's doable for us to make sure that he is okay. For him, not being home is traumatizing. And it's funny for some to hear that, but we have lots of issues that come up that should be normal and easy and no problemo, but it is not the case. And so we'll have those conversations with family going, we're only going to be able to do this for one night and then we're going. Or we're going to visit you, we're going to leave early and we're going to visit you for that whole day, sleep over, have breakfast with you, and then we're going on to the other family, stay there for a couple hours, and then drive home. So whatever we can fit in that hour is going to be what you get. And I'm sorry if it seems like we're kind of hitting hit and run or eat and run or whatever, but the point is that unfortunately we're only able to do this, thing for so long before it becomes a problem for our son. Now, I've seen on YouTube and Facebook and some other places where they're like, you need to push your children to be typical or normal. And I'm going to say this, and I want to make sure that I say it in a clear way, because you know how far you can push your child and not harm them. And that's the part that I'm not willing, especially for something he is not going to enjoy. We're not going to enjoy it. His sisters are not going to enjoy it because everybody is miserable, everyone. And I look at it and go, what did we gain by pushing it? What did we gain by doing? So there's a fine line as far as I'm concerned of, I push him as much as I can, but I am not willing to push him to the point where you're fine. So I think I've mentioned on this channel once that we went on a family vacation about 3 years ago. My husband had some time off and he had a gift card to this really fancy hotel in the mountains. And we were like, we need to use it because it was during COVID land and it was finally opening up. And we're like, we need to use this or it's, just going to go to waste. But we also don't have anyone who can stay with Darian for long periods of time. And so it wasn't something Colin and I could just do ourselves. So we took him, and I was like, 3 days, that's not too long. But even to this day, he comes up, and if I say mountains, he's like, red X. Not just no mountains, it's a red X. So that's the issue, is that I look at it and go, I didn't, when, if I do it accidentally, if I do it without realizing, I figure it's okay. It's not, I wasn't trying to. Now that I know, I better be paying attention. So that's kind of how I see it. The other thing is that I look at it and go, like, pay attention to what their time limits are. And you, as the expert on your child, will be able to tell exactly what they are feeling, at what point they're done, and letting them go. So one of the things that we do for our family, like regularly, every tradition, or every Christmas, we have this tradition of making Christmas cookies. Now, I know my girls are going to be like all in there, and their hands are going to be all over, and they're going to do their own Christmas cookies, their own decorating. They're going to do all of it. What I do for Darian, because I know his attention and his willingness to do it is very short, the dough is already made. I roll it all out, and then I go, okay, I have all of the cookie cutters available, and I go, okay, which ones do you want to do? He does certain ones, and I go, perfect, and he pushes them, squeezes them down, and off he goes doing his own thing. And then I will bring him back when I get the rest of the dough, and then whatever's left I just throw away, or I give to the girls, because I know that that's a short window, but it's an activity that he is a part of, and it didn't stress him out, and it didn't turn him. And does he eat those cookies? No, he doesn't. Not at all. So it's things like that that I really find to be something that you probably, I'm going to guess, probably already do. And I am just out here giving the YouTube land the permission to not feel guilty about it, especially when you're talking about family members. And if there's ones that are more pushy and more demanding, or I wish that they could stay at my house, or whatever the case may be, if they do not take your, well, unfortunately, it's not happening. If they don't take that well, then maybe they need to come to you. And then it's just a matter of you saying, okay, now we're only going to be able to have you for this amount of time, but we're welcome, or you're very welcome to come, or whatever the case may be. But you all know what it's like to feel kind of guilty, because you're like, well, this cousin does this thing, and this cousin, they always get together, and like I do. There are times where you feel like you're missing out, your family's missing out, and yet at the same time, is the great thing about childhood is that unless they're constantly exposed to it, they think that your normal is everyone else's normal. Yeah. The only time that has not been the case is with our rule about sleepovers. That one I've had to be a little bit more specific about and explain why and all of that, because I look at it and go, you have all day. You have all day to hang out with your friends and have them come over. Nighttime, you're supposed to be sleeping. You're not having fun anyway. And it leaves you open to situations. And that's just my rule. That's my family, mine and my husband's decision. But that's been about the only one where it really stood out that our family was different. And it also helps that, that to have their friends come over to our house was not a good idea either, because Darian has his shower in the evening, late evening time, and he has no issues with modesty. Like, he is like Adam in the garden, pre-sin. He has no understanding that there should be any covering up or anything like that. And so as he's gotten older, it's been really easy to tell the girls in particular, what do you think about your friends happening upon that? And they're like, oh. So Yeah, as you're planning Christmas time, as you're planning Thanksgiving for down in the States or any other holiday around the world, if you're watching this channel, and you need to set parameters and set guidelines for your kiddos, do not feel guilty about doing that, because while it can affect how our family dynamics work, I truly believe that you not being stressed over Christmas and your child who has special needs not being stressed over Christmas is healthier and happier for the whole family as a whole, including the extended family members. They might not understand how meltdowns work, but it's gonna wreck the holidays. So I hope that this has been a helpful video. I hope that as we've talked about things and me sharing a little bit about what goes on in our household, you're like, okay, this is kind of like my situation. And yeah, you know, I used to feel guilty about that, but no more. Hi-ya. Like, it's just one of the things. You want to enjoy the holidays with your kids, and it's already hard for moms. I don't know, maybe dads too, but like my husband just like the holidays. But I feel like pressure because I'm buying all the gifts and I'm wrapping it and I'm doing all of the decorating and whatever. And it can feel like an extra load. And then you add on that, you know, the expectations of others in your life, and you're like, no, I'm going to be that one in the family that saves you all from a meltdown Christmas. That's what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful time planning your holidays and feeling guilt-free as you do it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.